It is often characterized as the defensive holding position, but you will not see the real value of the closed guard until you start to see it for what it really is. A devastating attacking position that allows you to control and attack an opponent from bottom position through the use of advantageous hip position. The principal advantage of closed guard is that it puts your hips in top position over your opponent's hips, even though your body overall is in bottom position. The athlete whose hips are on top of the other athlete's hips will always dominate the upper body submission game.
There are certain techniques that I hate teaching to beginners. I'll try not to teach them to beginners for as long as possible, and if I do use them in a class, I'll try to keep them from doing them in sparring. It's not because they're really complicated. In fact, they're some of the simplest techniques that there are. It's not because they're risky. In fact, they're extremely low risk. They're not difficult to pull off, and they're really easy to land. In fact, all of them, if you started using them, you would start having more success in sparring, and that's kind of why I don't want you to do them. The theme of this video is going to be false positives. These are 5 techniques. Even if you do them poorly, you'll get like a good result out of them. And that's sort of the problem. Some of these are things people come already programmed wanting to do. And as we know, your instincts generally when you begin learning to fight are bad. Other ones are like, for instance, at the end, how this ends with a spinning back fist or a Superman punch. I'll go ahead and spoil the ending. And I'm going to explain why those are not risky and why beginners could use them almost immediately and spam them and have great results with them. Bear with me. The right hook, or the rear hook if you're a filthy, dirty southpaw. When we did the lead hook video, a lot of people kind of jived. A lot of people in the comments said like, yeah, actually, my left hook feels pretty good. It's my rear hook that feels more awkward. It's because a lot of places you go, they don't actually teach a rear hook. Like, because this is so complicated. And
I don't think, for me, honestly, hooks, generally speaking, hooks, should come with that torque. I'm here, my body's here, my hook should be as well. So if I'm turning this way, bam, I'm turning with my hips. That's the big idea. I don't know why people can't figure out the hook that comes around here. Like I did this, but it comes around here, and that's just your short hook that you have. You got your long range hook, and this. And also people like to do the hooks this way, which is fine. The idea for this hook is not the 2 knuckles, as a lot of people will tell you. The bottom 3 knuckles that will connect. This is what will connect here. If you watch my hand, you see what's connected. You can connect these with the whole every artifice. Ideally, you can you'll be okay if just connecting the three knuckles. Now, if you are going to do this knuckle, it's the 2 knuckles. Now, 2 knuckles same 2 knuckles you use a jab, same 2 knuckles if you use a real your cross. So if you throw a jab cross, that's the 2 knuckles you won't hit, unless you do a frontal punches, or some people like to do it kind of corkscrewy looking. So you come in, and the three knuckles you are hitting there. Same with these. So if I'm doing a straight blast or chain punches, the punch that I'm hitting would be the 3 knuckles. If I was go for 1, 2, 3, then those will be the 2 knuckles. If I have to decide, well, I like to punch. I like the 1, 2. You keep the two knuckles that you turn, or you could. I like to jab here, where my hands are focal. As soon as I'm going to turn into to, and I also looked into my body to that gym. People just don't, when they throw a certain punch, they forget to use the hip movements. Get that so that way you are putting your body into, put your weight into the punches, and that's and that's just the punches alone. You should do it with when you kick it. But let's continue what he says.
This is such a difficult thing to make happen for a lot of people. You know, we get you get really a lot of reps at the lead hook, and then you forget to throw the rear hook. I'd almost rather you not. Here's the problem. Even an untrained person swinging that at you, just a wild haymaker overhand right, it's going to hurt, even if you block it, right? So, especially if a guy's at all athletic or strong, he might do this, and good stuff happens. He might even make an amateur or professional career out of going like this and knocking people out. He might even win a world championship, but we'd much rather get newbies to straighten out their punches, because that's the thing that they need help with. Making an overhand technical thing takes time, and a person should have a really fundamental understanding of punching to turn this into a tighter, more technical thing, or otherwise we get this. And guys will be swinging that at each other in sparring, maybe having success with it, and that's time and energy they're not using to get better at their good, straight punches. The other one in the same vein is a pull counter. Like, pulling your head back like that. Why? People instinctively want to lean away from punches. But what they're doing, and they might have success. A guy goes to throw a punch or a kick, and you go like this, and you move away, and the punches and kicks might not land on your face. Now I know what you're thinking. I just go to the body if a guy leans back. It'll generally be two guys swinging ineffectively at each other, and a guy might lean back and have success with that. But they're not actually doing a pull counter. The pull counter, this is an important detail. When I lean back, right, my hips.
Yeah, so what he's saying is even if when you're slipping, pull, or evading a blow is, you want to come back and then and throw a punch. Come back, or maybe you need a pendulum step back, and then jump, going, and then come back into counter. So it's you're not staying to one spot. And once you throw a punch, it takes time, right? When somebody throwing a jab, right? When somebody throw a jab, and you're trying to get out. Now I'm gonna stand up for a minute. You are doing this. I see you was doing. You're trying to get out of the way. I'm not doing it properly because I have headphones. But I did it as soon as I come back. I didn't pop up. So then, as soon as I try to. This doesn't. Let me get my laptop. So as soon as I have the opportunity, even when I'm going out, evading the punch, if I'm here, slipping, I want to counter attack. So if I want here, boom, come back, bam, come back, boom, come back, side stepping, go through a punch, side stepping, go through a hook, probably boom, and in JKD they have something where I'm here, I cut, right? I can throw a punch, cut into cut, and what cutting means is I'm not cutting somebody's arm. Cutting just simply means I'm going over that person's attack. I'm cutting them off so I can land my strikes, my counter movement. That's what I meant. This is what he says. Let's say what he says about the counter.
are in front of that foot. This back foot back here. I lean back. My hips stay in front of that back foot. Why is that important? Because I have to come back forward and I have to push off of that foot to do that. That's the thing they're missing. They stand up a little taller. They lean back like this. Their hips are on the other side of this foot. So if they're pushed or if they lose their balance at all, they just meander backwards like that. Now, that's counterproductive to learning. Might save you a punch here or there in the short term, but in the long term, you're not learning to hunker down, have confidence in your guard, and be aggressive. So I caution beginners against relying too heavily on the right hook or pulling back, because you're probably doing it wrong, and you need to spend those reps doing something that's maybe less comfortable, maybe less intuitive, but ultimately will make you a better fighter. Let's shift gears a little bit. This one's going to be funny. You're going to laugh. This is the front kick from the lead leg. And I know what you're thinking. You're like, Mike, that's like your favorite kick. You did a whole course. There's a link down below. A whole course on the front kick, right? Why don't we want beginners using it? I'll give you a lot of reasons. I don't like the way UFC fighters use it. Guys competing at the highest level will throw this kick. I don't know what they're throwing it at. Sometimes they even have their toes pointed. They'll do like this. You see guys competing for UFC World Championships doing that at the end of exchanges, and they go like this. Because if you just whip your foot up at people, it has an effect. You get a positive result, and I call it a false positive. The real front kick is an attack that's meant to hit someone with something, or at least feint, or at least create the idea that you would have. It's not, I'm off balance, and I'm going to do this. When we move, and we cover this in the course, I'm kind of spoiling some of it. A big part of it is we don't want to lean back and tell the person, I'm going to kick you. The problem is you can lean back, telegraph the fact that you're going to kick, not pull your toes back to hit with the ball of your foot, completely whiff it in the air, 6 feet in front of the guy that you'd used it on, and still call that a positive result because the guy might go like, oh, snap, that guy might try to kick me if I come down the middle. To a lesser extent, particularly if we're talking up high, it's kind of hard to control this thing. It's kind of hard to back off on the power. So beginners can injure each other with it.
If you're trying to make real money online, you need to stop with Amazon FBA, drop shipping, Shopify, affiliate marketing, and MLM. Listen.
But it's more about that first thing, like, especially if we're talking about moving forward. Because even from the days of the Gracie Stomp, people have used this kind of lunging forward. I don't want to start my exchange through head movement and footwork and cover this distance in an honest way. I just want to go, It's not what the kick is for. But you can use it that way, and it'll work. Moving on. The spinning back fist. This super risky, super technical, super advanced, complicated move. Nope. You can throw it really crappy, have amazing results. You can barely know what you're doing, and wreck dudes with it, and it's not that risky. When we throw a spinning back fist, all right, whichever one we throw, I like to step through like that. I don't actually step through. I step over with this foot and throw it.
That's a
what you're doing, and
that's not
wreck
a big
dudes with
fist.
it, and it's
That's
not that risky.
That's looks like
When we throw a
spinning
spinning back fist,
hem fist.
all right, whichever one we throw, I like to step through like that. I don't actually
That's a hem fist. That's not
throw
a
it
back fist.
really crappy, have amazing results. You can barely know what you're doing, and wreck dudes with it, and it's not that risky. When we throw a spinning back fist, all right, whichever one we throw, I like to step through like that. I don't
Damn it.
actually.
Hold on, let me go back for a little bit. It looks like
We
a
throw a spinning back
hem
fist.
fist.
All right, whichever one we throw, I like to step through like that. I
What?
don't actually.
Stupid ass. Damn. I hate my mice.
Know what you're doing, and wreck dudes with it, and it's not that risky. When we throw a spinning back fist, all right, whichever one we throw, I like to.
Yes. Okay. That, from what I can see, looks like a hem fist. Boats. You could hem fist this way. He just did a spinning hammer fist, not back fist where you come in this way. A hammer fist. This is not a back fist. I'm like, I had a hard time trying to pause it and pause what he was doing. I mean, it's a great hit. Don't get me wrong. It's not bad technique when you are doing a hammer fist, but that the way his hand, nope, nobody throws a back fist this way. It's a hammer fist. A hammer fist, folks.
Step through like that. I don't actually step through. I step over with this foot and throw it.
That's like again. He again. That I mean, maybe it's just the he did it again. He did another hammer. Even if it's a boxing glove, bro, that's a hammer fist. You don't. The back fist are these two knuckles that comes downward. Evan, I'm gonna take this off so I can do the demonstration. Let me take my headphones off. Back hammer fist. Look. So if I'm throwing here, I'm not spinning. I don't come out this way. I don't come out handing this way. I want to come. Hold on. I'm gonna come this way. As soon as I'm hit, as soon as I spin out, I'm gonna hit this way. I'm not hitting this way. Hell, if I have to, I do another video with boxing gloves. I got a pair of boxing gloves. It's not this where you hammer fencing is that versus this. And you can't see my feet, granted, but you get the gist. You get the gist of back fist versus hammer fist, right? You can throw a hammer fist that way, hammer fist this way, and come out. You can rip it out this way. I mean, yes, it looks like a karate block, but the purpose of this also can be a hit. It doesn't have. Yes, you can block this way, but also you can hit that way. Okay. I'm gonna go back one more time.
It says never turn your back to your opponent because, like, right now they would. What, dude? Step through like that. I don't actually step through. I step over with this foot and throw.
Okay, see that? See his hand? That is what we call a hammer fist, not back fist. That's crazy.
Everyone says never turn your back to your opponent because, like, right now they would. What, dude? If we're having an exchange and I spin, like in that you have one specific instant. If you don't see it coming or predict it coming, you're not getting here before this gets there. It's just not gonna happen. Beginners and mediocre strikers can wing this thing kind of out whenever.
He's not. See, look, he is not throwing a back fist. It's a hammer fist.
Because action almost always beats reaction.
Every time he throws a so-called back fist, it's a hammer fist, folks. Does he not know? Back fist is coming off toward this way. If you watch Chuck Norris, he does this, not this. His fist is sideways, not coming out like you opening a door. Maybe you have a towel. Shit. If you had a towel and you spin it this way and you whip it out, that's without a towel. That's the ideally for a back fist.
Gets countered is when the person gets lucky or they did a really good job predicting it. They're not reacting to it. There's no way that someone reacts in time to that. It's just not what's actually happening the few times you do see people get countered out of that.
Although he is right, he's completely, if you set it up perfectly, any spinning movement, the back fist, heaven fist, or any of the spinning kicks, it's unless the guy telegraphs. Look, Matt Serra knocked out people with a spinning back fist.
But here's the problem. Every time you spin, and this is the problem, you can do that technique really crappy. You can do it so terrible, and people still have to do this. Maybe if you're sparring with someone who's much better than you, he would get in there and counter that thing or stuff it or whatever. But if you're sparring someone much better than you, he was already probably beating you up other kinds of ways.
Right.
Stop spinning. Please stop spinning. Throw your good stuff. Throw your fundamental stuff. Straight punches, hooks, uppercuts, round kicks. Speaking of round kicks, let's finish with the Superman punch. Not that Superman punch, not a big Roman Reigns. The Superman punch is nothing to do with a punch. Yes, it's super powerful. It covers distance safely. But that's not the key element. The key element is the kick. I know you're thinking, like, what kick? That kick. A kick that hurts him. Right? Some kind of kick that causes damage so that when this foot goes like this, he goes, eh. And then when this foot goes like this, it's a punch. Doesn't have to be a huge leap. Here's the problem. You can use the Superman punch to cover ground safely while throwing a powerful punch. You can. There's not a ton of examples of people getting taken out of the air trying a Superman punch with no setup, just winging it out there. For every one that you can find thousands of examples of people getting countered while throwing a picture-perfect, well-timed jab. It's not that risky. But if you're in training and you already know that you can land a Superman punch, try not to rely on it. You teach this to beginners, everything's a Superman punch. It's constant Superman punches. They're like, oh, I don't know what to do. Superman punch. Oh, I don't know what to do. Superman punch. Right? They're just constantly Superman punching because when they do it, they get closer to their opponent, relatively unscathed because the person either has to move back, block, or address that incoming attack some kind of way. So I guess the moral of the story is, why are you throwing these techniques? Are you throwing the right hook because you've set it up and he's not expecting it? Or are you throwing the right hook because you don't know what else to do and you want the round to be over, or you want to hurt the person, or you want to stop the person?
That's a good point. Hooks should be set up punches. From 1, 2, 3, or that's not the best. That's not really. But you can go 1, 4, or maybe you go with the 2, 3. Throw in those jabs. Again, I'm gonna show you that on camera, and you can easily go from 1, then possibly to possibly you might be slipping out, going toss right in you, or you might go into the overhand hook, and maybe you go ahead and you slipping out, go to the overhand hook and hit that, or possibly if you go to a 2, 4, 3. Maybe you got 4 here, you got 3 here, right? So setting up a hook is timing, getting the reaction out of your opponent or sparring partner. You have you gotta finding the inside or outside, finding the range of your attack. Any of those is a good way to find. I mean, it's you can maybe go maybe you go down to the body, up to the head with the hook, or maybe you go to cross to the body, back up to the lead hook. As first of all, and this those techniques can work. Maybe your strategy is go 1, 2, 3 here to the body, back up to the to the head, and you are boxing them out. Like to say, you're using the footwork by going high, low, back up to high, and then possibly go to uh, uh, and then side stepping, go to the uppercut, and slipping away to go to different angles of your opponent, finding the dominant position, throwing your sparring, and if you're competing, you want to do the same thing. Finding even if it's just kickboxing, you can use maybe use a front kick that that you can come into that lead hook, which is be like for instance, if I were able to throw that, now I'm coming in to that, and I am able to use the front kick to step into the hook. That way, maybe that front kick allow me. Let's say the guy parry, but he didn't. He saw the kick coming. He got it away. Now I can push forward. I go with a hook, right? Maybe maybe you use the real kick to or maybe use a fake to a jab, or maybe you fake with the front kick, go into the hook, because you could come to the hook, then go back up over to the your rear hook, bam bam, same, and you send it up, and this you're sending that technique up. Let's finish this video real quick.
Are you pull countering because you've expertly judged his range, or maybe even forced him to throw that attack at that range and you knew what was going to happen? Or are you pulling your head back because you're scared? Which is okay, but in order to get not scared, we have to expose ourselves to the stress of those punches. Are you throwing a front kick because you want to hit someone far away and you don't want them to come close? Or are you trying to kick someone in the bladder hard enough to make them pee themselves? Are you spinning because you're desperate, or are you spinning to subvert someone's expectations? And are you throwing the Superman punch to cover distance and stay safe because you never learned how to do that with footwork and head movement? Or have you made them respect your kick so much that when you move this leg, you get a favorable reaction?
Yeah, that's a good point of that. Front kicks are great to push them away, create that distance. I didn't see any bad views on this in this video. Other than that, when he's throwing a spinning back fist, he's actually throwing a can be done. A hammer fist can be done this way or this way. Long as I am hitting this part of my fist. Back fist this way. Hammer fist. But at the end of that angle, I'm hitting that. That good advices. Good. I mean, there's, you know, the only problem is that the Superman punch should be set up, set it up with, like you said, with the kick, but just wildly, lean back in when you're fading away. Yes, come back with that hook. Come back with a counter strike. It can be any counter strike. Just make sure what you were throwing, you know what you want to do in the fight, versus throwing it because that's the only thing you know how to do. And learn how to footwork, always use that footwork. Learn how to use your footwork. Learn how to use hand movement. Those are the best way to learn how to fight. That's one thing I do like about his videos. He stressed to people a lot. Use your movement, even if it's just to go pressure forward or going back, and then creating a different angles when you're fighting. Right, it's easy to get trapped in a moment and panic on the pressure, right? If you're a beginner, there's no more thing to be at where you're panicking on what to do, right? Especially so it's important to spar. That way, when you go to your first match, you're not just throwing wild stuff and hope for the best, and maybe get dumb luck, right? And win your first fight by doing something wild and using things that you know is not risky, right? When you're sparring, you want to spar as if you are fighting your opponent, but not knocking you out. You're not trying to knock out your partner. You want to use your techniques that you learn, such as footwork, hand movement, body weave, slipping, all the anything that has to do with feigning. Time those, use those to your advantage. Counter each time that you're slipping, that you ducking. If you body weave, you can get that good body shots. Just then they come back up to a jet cross, right? You can use those skills and don't go take them. Don't let them go by. If you see an opening, right, get it. Go for the opening. the if you Jeff is just a knockout and you just all you want to do is head to head, the guy is gonna block his head 100% of the time, right? But you switch it up. You hit the body, you go back upstairs. If you might be let me get 1-2 upstairs, then bam, uppercut to the body. Come back, then you maybe you hit your hand movement. You weave this way, hook to the candy shot. Come back up with a Lee cross to the jaw, to our jawline. And if you execute your head movements, your footwork, finding, if you open up the targets, that's the idea. You want to open up your targets that you want to hit to not, especially if you want to get the knockout, as you have to hit all the spots on the body to knock them out. You can knock them out obviously from the head, but you also can knock out on the body as well. So set up your punches and kicks to hit towards the target areas. I mean, it's okay to do the spinning back fist, setting up a good Superman punch to open, as long as you open that window, right? By use that kick to the body, then use that Superman punch, because you just not open it up when you can use that Superman punch to try to get a knockout. Let's say, or maybe that kick, and he saw the kick, he tried to get out, but then you jump to do the Superman punch to get the distance, because he's worried about the kick already, and then you throw the Superman punch. That just in sense, or you're able to bridge a gap. For instance, every motion, throw Superman, or spin, right? You become predictable. That it would be easy for them to counter. Alright, that's all I'm going to say about this. Subscribe, like, and share. As always, train safe, stay often, so you become better, you're a better self, and able to look at yourself. Yeah, I did good today. Thanks for watching. I'm out.